Yo, what's up? It's the Hip Hop Galaxy podcast, episode 8, Silas.
Episode 8. Yeah.
I'm Bushle Banks, and that's Silas Beats.
Silas Beats. What's up?
What are we talking about today, Silas?
Today I got a couple of topics. Let me just grab them. I got them on my phone.
Prepared,
man. Come on. Cool. So here I have something with regards to building the perfect team in the music industry. Like, is necessary.
It's always tricky, dog. Right?
How come?
Because when you start, you're just in your bedroom. Like, how do you even get a team, dude?
Your friends, bro. You have to start close.
We can't even get like 3 people on the podcast, dog. Like, let's give us the real. Let's start from like an idealistic point of view in terms of who you need on your team.
From an idealistic point, you'd need a lawyer, a manager, a lawyer.
A manager and a lawyer.
A manager and a lawyer.
Yeah.
You then also need someone with regards to bookings who is specifically working for you. So like some kind of an agent.
Mm-hmm.
Then someone to handle PR as well. That would be your core team.
And let's just go into it. You'd need a manager to do what role?
So your manager would be the overseer. They would handle majority of your admin stuff. So if anything needed to be sorted out in terms of, setting up meetings, just ensuring that you as the talent are being, we're talking about an artist now, right? You as the talent are being managed. You know what you're doing next. They manage your schedule, that type of thing.
So would it be fair to say they're like the CEO of your company?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So you would sit with them, strategize, and they'd make sure that everything happens.
Exactly.
You as an artist are in charge of the operations or the production of the actual product, but then the manager is in charge of making sure that everything else happens.
Exactly. So ideally what would happen is you'd sit down with the manager and then you'd have your first conversation to say, what do you expect of me? Or what do I expect of you? And then you draw up some kind of an agreement, and this is going to be the working relationship going forward.
Personal question: have you had somebody try and manage you?
I have a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I knew that based on how they operated, there was no way that they were going to be able to manage what I had going.
Why is that?
It was just too much stuff. Just in terms of workload, if I had handed it over to them and said, please help me take this thing forward, it wouldn't have worked.
Sure. Okay.
There's just too much. I need a manager now. I do believe now I need a manager.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure. Okay, firstly, where to look for someone who's actually going to be good enough. But at the same time, because there's always that thing where I feel as though I'm gonna do it the best. So I'm not 100% sure where I'd find them, and yeah, dude, I'm not ready.
Yeah, that's why I said idealistic world. You're saying artists should get a manager, and you don't have a manager.
The reason why I believe they should get a manager is artists, the typical creative mind. They are all over the place. So it's literally, they become the handler. Go to that meeting, be at that place. You've got a studio session, you need to wake up now, that sort of thing. I don't need that. So that's where I feel they would need a manager. I need a manager in a sense that the work is just way too much now. And I now need to start delegating. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's where you need it. And I think you touched on it. Where, if you were an artist, where would you kind of look for a manager? Because it's tricky. A lot of artists make their boy a manager, and the boy is whiling out in the club.
Yeah. It's funny. A lot of managers start out like that, I think. And I don't know. I wouldn't say that that's the best place to go. It's actually the worst place to go. It's a bad place to
Why?
It's a bad place to start because right from the beginning, you're not working from a place of we're trying to build a business. It's my boy, and we've got this idea.
I have to come in there, bro. Like, I think it would depend. It would depend if
on what the relationship.
No, it would depend on the relationship and what is your boy doing. Like, if your friend is maybe studying a commerce degree and they've got a keen interest. I mean, why not? What do you have to lose? If he's just like a random guy who's not doing anything, it's a bit different.
Do you think the commerce guy is going to want to do this managerial job?
I think, but then that's the problem. They would treat it the priority. Where would they prioritize it? That's the problem.
You're more likely to get that guy who's not doing anything.
Really?
He's got time. This your boy has got time. He's hanging around the studio. Why is he there in the first place?
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
True,
Whereas the
true.
commerce guy, the guy who's actually going to help you out and do the right thing, he's got other stuff to handle.
Got you.
Yeah. So even for an artist, even if we go outside of just getting your boy or your girl, whoever it is that you want to get your stuff done, you're not going to find a good manager in the beginning. Your manager is going to be garbage in the beginning.
Or your mom or dad.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be learning. The thing is, they're gonna be learning on the job with you
Yeah.
until eventually someone comes along and they're like, "Hey,
There's something
there's
here.
something there." Then better managers will come about.
And how would you go about paying them compensation wise?
If it was me, a percentage.
Really?
Yeah, I would not it would that or a retainer.
Yeah.
There's no ways I'm paying. There's no way for
Why
PR
not?
and a manager. There's no ways I'm paying a retainer.
Why?
Those things are expensive, Brian. Then you can sit.
But then if it's tricky, dog.
You can sit.
You don't know if you can't just sit.
Why
There has to
not?
be 1, 2, 3. I'm paying for this.
I did it. I tried.
Really?
Dude, I've seen PR companies. I've seen it. Well, not the ones that are doing well.
No. Let's split that. Let's talk management first.
It's even easier for them to hide.
How?
I'm your manager. You've
No.
expected something from me.
Yeah.
So there's an agreement in place to say 1, 2, 3 needs to happen, right?
Yeah.
I can say that I sent the emails. I can say I tried. And I can faff and I can, work slowly and there's no I feel there's no incentive. Well, there's less incentive. Whereas if it's a case where the person is
Technical
like
difficulties. Yeah.
where it's a case of like you eat when I eat. What? You eat when I eat. We eat. Not you eat, and then I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I get it. But then also, what type of person are you going to attract like that? Because you said if you're paying the commerce guy, then it makes sense. That's kind of why I feel like other people wouldn't prioritize it, because it's like,
Sure.
I don't know, because you attract what you pay is basically what you attract.
But how deep are your pockets? Because the commerce guy, as much as he'll say, even if you say 2K a month, at some point 2K is going to be nothing for him and he's going to want more, 3K. Again, how deep are your pockets? How long can you do this? How long can
It
you
has to make
sustain
sense.
until you start earning money back? Because we're going from a case where someone doesn't have anything.
Where they're just starting out.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
If they got money,
I guess
hey,
percentage wise works out then in that case. Okay.
how much? I don't know. That's all based on, are you just doing 1, 2, 3 things, or are you actually maneuvering?
And it
whole
would have to
business?
be based on what they bring in, not what you already have.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that's management side of things. The other stuff
You mentioned PR.
I mentioned
PR is a
PR.
bit tricky because
it is, and I'm only saying this because you're saying ideal.
yeah.
If we're talking about realistic, my list would be very different of the type of
Let's
people
talk
that you
realistic then.
need. Realistic, scrap all of those people. You don't need any of them.
Silence.
You don't need any of them. What you need, if you're an artist, is you need a producer. That's the first person you need, realistically, because a producer, you guys working together, you already eliminate a whole section of the value chain in the beginning. That whole creation process, you can churn out and you can
Streamlined,
experiment more. Whereas if you're paying for studio time, again, how deep are your pockets? And then from there, you'll learn, your producer will learn how to mix and master. You guys will go through the process together. At least you can get to the point that the song is done.
And I'm gonna ask this for the artists out there. How do I convince Silas to be that producer for me?
If they're starting out as an artist, that's already the first mistake.
Really?
I believe that a lot of people do that, where they're the first producer that they want to work with is someone who is, you're not messing with
same
your
level.
kin.
Yeah.
Mess with your kin for a while. Your boy down this is how we all get started. You start with the guy down the street. Just work 1 or 2 tracks. At least you have something. Then move it to the next level. Someone who's a little bit better. And then the next. Then you can jump a few rungs and give it. Then eventually, once it actually sounds good and it's actually you've tightened up your product. Then you can then approach. Not to say that I wouldn't have heard the talent had they sent their first 1 or 2 tracks to me, but at least it shows me that there is some kind of growth from just working with their boy down the street to maybe booking out a session. Actually, plug. Book a studio session here. That's the answer. Or not even here. Book a studio session anywhere.
Okay.
Get into the studio, run a session.
Yeah.
With that person, you're going to gain something from that session. If you don't gain the relationship, I'm just thinking about some of the people that I'm working with now.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
It's because we started out them booking, being in studio.
And then you saw they were serious.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So basically your requirement is you need to see potential in this person.
Yes.
And the only way you can see the potential, it's not about the talent because that's subjective. It's kind of like how hard are they working? Putting that into that makes sense. So I guess because you're putting your time into it as well.
Exactly. Because I'm not expecting them to pay me.
Yeah.
They probably won't be able to.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's you get a producer, and then that cuts out a lot of the stuff.
Who else would you need at that point?
I would almost say that you in this modern age you need a producer. You need like a video editor, videographer.
Oh yeah. Actually, yeah.
I think you would. Yeah, you'd need to do content.
Yeah. And I suppose that's a wrap, isn't it?
What do you mean?
You don't really need anybody else, do you?
After that.
No. In the beginning.
Yeah.
You've got someone to help you make the music. You've got someone to help you document the content.
I guess you'd need somebody to post the content.
Do it yourself, man.
You can do it yourself. That's true. But I mean, in a perfect world.
Yeah.
I think that's literally all you need, though.
It's a nice lean team.
You've got the content machine, and then you've got the posting.
No, I think that's enough. All the lawyers and all that other stuff you can outsource.
And I think the PR thing is, dude, I think it's dead, dog.
How did you feel? What do you mean, PR companies?
Because PR companies is basically, hey, we'll get you publicity, maybe. We'll send out a couple of emails and we'll maybe get you.
Have you worked with a company before?
I haven't worked with it, but I've seen what they do. Like, they charge people and then they'll send me an email and say for immediate release. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not putting this out. Like, that's what they do. And then if I take their article and I put it up, then they'll go to the artist and say, see, we got you here. But I've seen what they do because I'm like a media thing. So I'm just like, is this what you just send out emails? Like, I guess that you're tapping into the relationship, but I don't know, man. I'd rather put that money to somebody making the video content because that's powerful. If you look at somebody like Dos who did the Umlando challenge, I saw that guy way back. He was dropping content. I was just like, who is this person? It was only a matter of time. He just needed one moment, and you see what he's done with Umlando challenge. He had basically the whole country, and he's flying. So. Yeah, he didn't get publicity. They came to him after a while. Everybody wanted to interview him. So I just.
And that's publicity a PR company wouldn't have given. Yeah. He wouldn't have gotten that.
Because a PR company, in my view, you need to be somewhere and then they'll multiply whatever you have already. If you're not anywhere, then it's pretty pointless. And I have a friend who's an artist who paid a PR company. It was like 30,000 Rand for 3 months.
Yeah?
He only got one interview.
90K?
No, 30 grand over 3
grand
months.
over 3 months. Yeah.
He only got an interview on, I think it was Alex FM.
You're lying. I can get an interview on Alex FM now.
He got playlisted on Metro, the hip hop show, for like 2 weeks. And then he was gone. And we're like, dude, hip hop is very small. We're trying, but yeah, that's all we could do. And he actually, parallel to that, he was releasing content and doing all of this. And he's like, dude, I actually got more traction out of the stuff that I was doing.
Himself.
Yeah, rather than the PR. And he's like, it's a lesson learned. It's obviously an expensive lesson, but that's why I'm saying, like.
Jeez. So.
You're so shocked right now.
No, I'm shocked. But now where does that leave PR companies? Because they're still out there. Is it for your bigger people?
It's for your bigger people. I would say it's for your bigger. Like DOS now would probably need a PR agent because I think it's about the market that you're trying to go into. I guess if you've now because you need to obviously elevate. I think once you've gotten to a certain percentage, a certain point, then it makes sense to get a PR agency, so they can sort of shape the narrative. They can manage that relationship between you and the media companies and things like that. And it's obviously just about elevating. But yeah, when you're starting in your bedroom, the fuck, man.
Jeez, that's ridiculous. So no PR company.
Yeah.
How about then taking that money? Because I'm thinking, had that 30K been used on, sure, they would have made the content, but had that 30K then been used on something like self-PR, like ads, social media ads and stuff like that.
I wouldn't
Still,
even do it, dude. I would just pay a video editor, I'd pay somebody to post my stuff. You're going to get more traction, dude.
organic.
Yeah, if you're doing 5 posts a day, dude, I'm going to see it at some point. Something is going to catch, dude. And remember, you shoot that long, you know that strategy, right? You've got the long form content, then you break it up, then you kind of make each piece of content unique to the platform. Something is gonna catch.
How long is, because it's an indefinite period that you're saying now. It could be 2 weeks before you find that viral thing. It could take a very long time. How long
It's gonna
would
take
you
a long
feel?
time. I think it's something that you don't stop, dude. It has to be something that's like you making music. You have to make music, dude.
Yeah.
You have to. It's right. It's a machine. It never stops. It's like we're talking about team members. It's part of your operations.
Jeez. Just thinking about the sustainability.
Of what?
Trying to do that thing of, you got your long form content, your short form, your posts, your sending out emails, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you're making music, and you have to keep this all up every single week indefinitely.
That's why I have a team. That's why I'm talking about a team, dog. You know it. You're a producer. You've seen producers. Producers have to make content now, dude. You've
Now they
seen them
do.
on TikTok. You're on TikTok. Who would have ever thought Silas Beats on TikTok?
I absolutely hate it, but it's helping. Honestly, it is helping.
Yeah, Kato on the track.
Yeah.
We all know Kato. He blew up off TikTok.
Yeah. And I knew that guy from long before. That guy, look, I don't like his beats. They're very, very simplistic. And I suppose that's the beauty of them, because a lot of people are rapping all over his beats. But long before that, he was already doing stuff. He had label placements with, what are they called? The one, Funk Volume.
Yeah.
Funk Volume, yeah.
Oh,
Then he was with
Dizzy Wright
Wright,
and all of those guys. Okay.
Jaron Benton or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I think he even had some tracks with, what's the guy with the Hobson? Yeah.
Co-owner.
what's that?
Co-founder of Funk Volume. yeah.
Funk Volume. So now, yeah. So he already had that whole thing that happened and kind of fizzled out, and then from there a resurgence with this whole TikTok and.
Do you know the story behind how he blew up on TikTok? So there's I don't know if you know that famous beat. Dun, 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 dun,
Oh
dun, dun.
yeah.
So he said he didn't want to put out that beat. Like but he was just on a thing of like, I'm gonna post. He posted it. Very mediocre results, right? 8 months goes by. Some girl in New Zealand stitches that thing and says, I'm so pretty, I'm so icy. And then it blows up 8 months later. Remember, we're also looking at content as if content doesn't live on forever.
Yeah.
Like, content lives on forever. So, I mean, an interview at Alex FM, how many people are going to see that? Who's going to remember it? But your content is there forever. So that's why I believe in that content game.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's what you did
it's
with.
super random, dude.
How about the case of Hip Hop Galaxy?
In terms of?
The trajectory and how the content, because that's what you used, right?
Yeah.
So just explain.
When we started shooting, we had Rouge and Blaze on the podcast, on the interview series.
Yeah.
Videos did okay, but like there was a first test interview that I did with my girlfriend's friend, and we were just talking about Bless. It's just like a random thing, and she was just like she was a video vixen on one of the hip hop guys. I think it was that Bonang video. So I was just like, oh, okay, let me put it in a video, you know. And then randomly, The ETV news channel has a thing about blessers, and people are googling blessers, and they stumble onto the channel,
Yeah.
and it blows up, and everybody finds the channel from that.
How long after the time that you did the interview with your girlfriend's friend to the time that it blew up? What
It was like
that time?
4 weeks.
So you were just like, this is just another piece of content.
Yeah, I threw it out. The sound was bad. It was like whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody and their grandmother was writing comments on it. It was like so engaged. It's still like one of the top most viewed pieces of content on Hip Hop Galaxy, second to the A-Reese one where he's talking about Double HP.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's still getting views. Just with content, you never know what's going to blow up, dude. You never know. Even with the Tweezy thing. Just asked him about how he made the track for AKA. Very, mundane, like soft. I'm like thinking, oh, this is a really cool story. Like, it's not probably going to get a lot of views. Oh, my word. AKA reacts to it. Goes crazy, calls Tweezy a liar. Tweezy wasn't.
Oh, that was based on your video.
Yes. I saw it play it on real time. Like Tweezy, I posted that thing. Then Tweezy said, check out this interview. Really crazy interview that I did. I loved it, whatever. Then I saw AKA go at him. I was like, what is going on? Is this real?
You caused the ad in the streets causing
because I was
problems,
like,
bro.
yo, this is a dope story. This is like a dope piece of hip hop history. And I didn't obviously know the drama behind it.
Yes, yeah.
And then, but it's just like you never know. Like, you just never know. But had I gone to a radio station, had Tweezy gone to a radio station, nobody would have picked up that story.
You would have heard about it. I guess in some radio stations they do get audio content, but then you still would have needed to have posted it and attached video, whatever the case is.
So yeah, it's just weird. I think a lot of artists are still stuck in just speaking about that. A lot of artists the big ones are hesitant. They see old media as like the golden standard and they're hesitant to go to podcasts and things like that.
Sure. So in terms of this content, how do we then go about posting it? In terms of, like, for me, I know which social media platforms I post on, but I don't know if I'm being effective.
That's the thing. You have to look at that's why I would have a separate person, like a separate social media, if I had the money, a separate social media manager to actually look at it and say, okay, let's experiment with this. Okay, this caught traction. Let's do this, more of this. Let's try something. Let's do more of that. Because I don't know, it changes. You could do something random. Sure. That's the art of it.
Yeah. But does it then have to be not out of character? Because let's take TikTok, for example. There's a lot that happens on TikTok. A lot. And I see people doing those, the overdubs.
What are the overdubs?
Where they lip sync whatever it is that's playing in the background. So there'll be a conversation and then they'll make they'll do their own version of it. Like I feel like that's the stuff that gets rewarded.
No.
And the challenges and all of that stuff.
Dude, it's according to who you are as like I find myself on TikTok and I'm watching like financial stuff like on TikTok and it's just somebody explaining it. It's just like a quick explainer. I think it's like a funnel. It gets, if you like pull me in and I'm like, oh shit, you're making a beat. Oh shit, I like this beat. Who's this? Let me go on their profile. Oh, they have a YouTube. Let me go. Oh, have an Instagram. Oh, they have a website. Oh, it's just one of those funnels that you get someone. But everybody likes different things.
Yeah.
Like if you go into my Instagram feed, you won't find those challenges. You'll find like the stuff on the Ukraine and people covering that. So I think you don't have to change who you are. Like content, different types of content work. Okay. I don't know how you found it.
My Instagram looks like that.
Yeah.
Where I have it shows me what I want.
Yeah.
Especially with Reels. It shows me more of whatever it is that I've been looking for. I think maybe my TikTok isn't as they haven't learned me.
You don't spend a lot of time on it.
So when I go there, I'll turn it on and I'll be like, the hell? There's a person in the kitchen doing some random thing. And I'm like, I don't want to see this. And I double back and then I'm out. Whereas I feel as though if I was following more people along what I was, because also I'm following a few of my friends.
Yeah.
That's it. The rest I'm posting stuff and waiting. So I need to engage more.
Yeah, you need to swipe up because it automatically caters to what you want based on your view time. So if you don't like something, you quickly scroll up. It's going to be like, all right, cool. He doesn't like that. Stop showing him some of that and whatever. Let's show him this.
So I'm a useless TikTok user right now.
Yeah.
I don't bring them any value at all.
But I think there's a lesson there. You need to spend time on the platform. You need to understand it so that you can then make content. Because I think that was the thing. People were like, I'm not going to dance and do a challenge and stuff. But yeah, it's grown. The type of content that you can find there has grown.
Jeez. Then would you then say that, would you suggest someone focuses on a particular platform, or that they
I don't
kind
think
of
so.
syndicating?
Yeah, I would think just use your long form. And I mean, that's what I'm doing right now, right? Or that's what we're doing. We're cutting up the content and we're posting it, whatever, on different platforms, on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the team that I would have.
Content creator,
Yeah,
and then a music producer.
I think the lawyer and stuff comes after, but ground level, that's the team you have, and then the second floor, that's the team you have.
Okay, sounds good to me.
So when are you gonna get your video edited, Silas? When are you gonna get your video edited?
He was supposed to be here today. I'm not even joking. I'm actually not even joking. There was supposed to be a dude standing right there.
Really?
Yeah.
And then?
I should text him right now. I should call him right now. No. I'll have a chat with him. But the idea was, look, I think also people did take example from this whole Kanye thing.
Oh, yeah.
Of having that. Remember Gary Vee was doing it with his D-Rock.
Long ago, yeah.
Yeah, where he had that person. We were just like, oh, dude, you're so vain.
Yeah.
You got a guy following you around? What do you mean?
Who does that?
Who does that? But strangely enough, Kanye's been doing it for an even longer time. And I mean, look at the magic. And apparently those guys got paid properly.
Yeah,
for that
they
thing.
did.
How many million? 30.
Yeah, it was 30 million.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you have to blow up. You can't just start following someone around and expect. But there's value. There's definitely value
There's
in
even
that.
value in that, dog. Like following somebody around, trying to make it. There's value in that. You can create a story around that.
Jeez.
You wouldn't even have to blow up.
Yeah.
I don't even think you have to. I just think the story.
Yeah. I guess that's where people started doing vlogs. And then they started doing personal vlogs.
Exactly.
But then the vlogs we kind of got bored. Here's a day in the life of, and then they would do it was mundane, it was cool, but if I didn't really know you, I had no entry point. Why am I following you around?
Do you know who does it really well though? Casey Neistat.
Didn't he slow down?
He did.
Didn't he slow down? Wasn't he doing one every single day?
Yeah. But he's a filmmaker. He would take the most mundane thing and make it so interesting. And he broke down how he does it. He's like, he does it like a story, like storyboard, part A, part B, part C, and it's so crazy. It's like the most boring thing, and you're like, "What did I just watch? That was so entertaining," but he literally did nothing.
Yeah.
So it's about storytelling as well. You can't just fucking tape yourself
Here I am
and think people
today.
like,
Yeah. It's I saw a few people trying it.
like who?
What?
Like who?
I don't want to name any names because I'm about to say that they did it very, very bad. Honestly, they would sit and it was just like, what are you doing? And then they would try and, like, I'm sure in their mind, they felt as though there was some substance to it. And they might have been, but it wasn't intriguing. I was like, you're doing what I would have been doing there, and you're showing me in a very, very boring way. You're eating your meal, or you're walking down the street, or you're exercising. Now you're doing, sit-ups or whatever it is, and you've got the camera there, and that's the vlog. Yeah. So, but again, if it was someone that I actually knew, so if it was who's someone who's relatively well-known, someone who's...
Curtis King does it.
So something like along those lines. Does he have a personal vlog?
Yeah, it's very boring. I don't even watch it because it's just, dude, I feel like if I know you for something, I don't want to see you raise your kid. I don't mean to be mean, but like I want to see the music. Yeah, I want to see the music stuff. Like,
didn't he say that? I think he did a post where he was like, "To you guys who tell me that I shouldn't be, not that you're saying he shouldn't do it,
yeah,
but for people that were giving, because there were people who were giving him flack and saying he should stick to the music." Then he kind of basically just said, he wasn't having that, which is fine. I think he did. It's on a separate channel.
Oh, it's on the same
It's
channel.
on the same channel. See, there, I don't know if you haven't been doing it the entire time. I mean, I'm not going to tell him exactly. I'm not going to be like, yo, don't give me that thing anymore.
It's nice where you show us how it influences you, but like now when we're having a whole episode of you in the hospital with your kid, not to sound mean, but it's just like, okay, what am I gaining from this? I'm not being entertained and I'm not being educated. Like I'm basically just watching you go through stuff, and that might appeal to like my girlfriend who likes watching reality shows. Doesn't appeal to me. So I think
then you're not the target market.
people gain an audience and then they do a switcheroo on them,
yeah.
and then they're like, no, this content is like, you've gathered us all here. You said there's going to be a rap concert and then Adele shows up. It's like, I'm not saying that Adele is bad, but we're not her fans.
Don't change the channel.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Fair enough. Hope he doesn't come after you.
Oh, really? Curtis King is going to watch this and...
Oh man, let me switch gears. Let me switch gears here for a moment. I think we can actually just do one more here. Mental health.
Tricky. It's difficult because I think people should go for therapy and not. I know a lot of people would say, I'm strong. And I would say, obviously you're in the medical field and you have your own views on it. But my view is that I wouldn't go to therapy because I have something wrong with me, but it's just to learn how to different methods to learn how to cope with different issues and things like that. And also just the same way that you hire a personal trainer to get stronger, you'd go to a therapist to obviously get stronger and learn how to deal with things. That's how I kind of view it.
So would you suggest, I mean, sometimes a lot of the time money doesn't allow.
Yeah.
But would you suggest if money was there, that everybody sees someone?
Because we're 2, 3, 4 events from going crazy, dog.
Who's this?
I'm just
as humans.
Yes.
For some, it's a quarter of an event.
So, I mean, I hear guys all the time like, nah, bro, I'm strong. And in that, like, I think I've seen this and I know this. Men don't deal with things. We just bury things and then we like ignore it. And then it comes out in very weird ways, but it does come up. I think there was a study. People are citing this whole thing about men being like the most like. I think that you've seen that graph about South African men committing suicide.
Oh yeah.
Compared to females. But there's another graph that I saw. It says it compared males and females in terms of how likely are you to report that you're feeling depressed, and females by an overwhelming majority beat the men.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to actually doing it, the men, that shows you that men are not acknowledging it. And if you don't acknowledge it, you can't deal with it. I think females are better because they acknowledge it and they can deal with it. So I think therapy helps you with that in terms of like trying to deal with stuff.
Sure. Yeah, no, I toyed with that idea as well. I don't have the money to do it. But I thought about it and I was like, I think it must have been after an interview I watched where someone had done it and they actually found that they had repressed things that were sitting there. They weren't going mad or anything. There wasn't anything triggering it, but those childhood events were able to answer for some of the behaviors that they have now.
That's
and
exactly
they were like, okay, that's why I do that when I do that. And I've discovered some of the stuff about myself where I don't know whether it's in age that I've picked it up, but I'll look at a behavior of mine and I'll be like, ooh, and this is another person commenting on how that's not a nice trait that I've got. And it's something I'll be like, oh, snap. I actually learned that from that person, whether it's a parent or an uncle or aunt, whatever. And I've sort of had to work on it that way. But that was it coming out as a constructive thing. But you're saying that it comes out as this, it's an event or it's a trauma, or you as the man then causes trauma because you've got all these.
Yeah, so there was something I was reading with, and they said men don't talk about these things. It comes out in other destructive ways. So it's drinking, substance abuse, beating people up, violence, all of those things. So I went to therapy, dude. It was the most enlightening thing ever.
You went?
Dude. Yes.
How was that?
It was the most enlightening thing ever because the person is asking you about certain situations and how you, and then they ask you very basic questions, and you have like a light bulb moment. You're like, no, that's actually wrong. Like that's crazy. How could I think like that? Like,
Yeah.
But you'd never in your normal life, you never have time to really think about your thought patterns and why you do certain things. So for that hour or whatever, you just go into your mind and kind of see, oh, this is what's driving this. But actually, that's stupid. I should actually have a better view. Oh, I should actually be more empathetic. Oh, somebody didn't do that. Why am I seeing it black and white? Like, why? Do you know what I mean?
Sure. I'd be scared to go.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna realize that at 32, like I've had it like very wrong. I've heard because that's the other thing. You think that you develop all of these patterns and all of these like systems in your mind, and you're like, this is reality, right? It's my reality, and this is how it is. For me to sit there for an hour and then out of nowhere it gets, I'm sure it doesn't happen like that where you just absolutely break down unless there's some heavy trauma. But I suppose I'm not really. It would be cool, but I think I'd be shocked. Like I'd be like, oh man, I was an idiot for thinking that way.
There is a possibility of that, but I came out like, man, why didn't I do this sooner? Like, fuck.
Would you go back?
Yes. It's just I don't have time now. That's the problem. But I definitely want to go back to it.
How many sessions did you do?
I think it was for October, November, and then mid-December stopped because shit was getting like really busy at work.
Oh, this was recent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was super recent.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's dope.
But it's just like they ask you questions, bro, and you just talk yourself, and you're like, that's actually pretty dumb. Like now that I'm saying it out loud, you're like, it's more like, you see?
Yeah. Do you sit in couches like this? They don't do that whole thing with
like lying down.
Yeah. No. Okay. Cool. I figured it wasn't
really, you should really give it a go, bro.
Yeah.
You should really give it a go. But for me, it was mostly like the tools, how to deal with certain things and stuff like that. Because you're not going to change overnight, but it's just how to deal with things.
Do they want you to go there? I'm just thinking practically now. Do they want you to go there with a problem? Because I know in our culture sometimes it's like, there's nothing wrong with me. There's no trauma.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I said. It's. I would almost say it as like preventative because you're like 2-3 bad things from happening and you'd go crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's say your mother dies, you lose your job, somebody close to you gets
Already
cancer.
It's a wrap.
Exactly.
It's a wrap.
But if you have tools and you're like, okay, I've learned this. Okay, let me work through it. Let me do this and whatever. You have a fighting chance.
Yeah. As opposed to
fuck, let me just get drunk. Let me,
go. Yeah, man.
So guys, that's what I say. People see it as a sign of weakness. It's like there's something wrong with you. But I think it should be like a personal trainer, dude. You don't, when you hire a personal trainer, people don't go, oh, you're weak. They go, oh, you're trying to get stronger. You're trying to improve your life.
It's glamorized, actually, that you're doing a good thing. So then how do we break that?
By just reiterating that message, dog. You're improving yourself. That's the only way. It's not a sign of weakness. Because if you tell somebody, I'm going to therapy. Why? What happened?
That's the first thought. When you like even for us having a mental health department.
Yeah.
Right. In all of the different clinics I've worked in, there's some kind of mental health area, and there is then that stigma that I'm looking for mental health instantly.
Really?
Yeah. No, it's not like, oh my gosh, you are a mental health, you're a psych patient, or you're whatever it is that you don't do that. But then you already there is a veil in terms of the questions that I'm going to now start asking you. If someone comes to me and they're a patient and they happen to be a psych patient or a mental health patient or whatever type of patient, then I won't have my guard up, but I'll initiate a certain what can I call them? Just the way that I'm thinking and the way that I react and the way that I treat them is going to be a little bit.
It's not like conscious. It's
yeah. But I think it's also because I've seen some of the extreme cases where I'm like, okay, cool, this is pretty intense. This is a pretty hectic case. But yeah, it's tricky it's almost impossible to spot. And I think that's most of the issue. Because me saying I'm okay or me saying I don't have problems, you can either choose to believe me or you don't. That's up to you. But we were actually saying when at the time that Ricky passed, that it's difficult to know what's going on, because for us in our department, if a patient comes in and they've got a stroke, I can see them at the door. I already know the diagnosis. I know which side the stroke is, and I can sort of tell what's going on. I've assessed you. By the time you get to me and I need to give you a booking or whatever, I know what's going on. But with mental health, it's rough. You actually might have full conversations with the person. You chill out with them the whole day, and you don't even know. Some of my friends that have said, when I went through that time, I was clinically depressed. I had medication I was taking. I was like, what? What? What do you mean? And, it's hectic. Also, the other thing is that for me, as a person that was around them, like, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Like, now I feel bad as I'm like, shoot.
That's the part of it I don't like. Like, what happened with... when Ricky died, everybody was like pointing fingers, like, why didn't people see? Why didn't people? We're not trained professionals, dude. How?
You're not gonna see even a trained professional. Not that I don't specialize in mental health or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's tough, bro. It's difficult to spot.
That's why I'm like, go to somebody who has studied this, normalize it, because I don't have the capacity. I won't give. If you come to me for advice, dude, I don't know. I'll tell you what I think, but I don't know.
Hey, right. There's also those people who will tell you that they know. That will be like, yo, man, mental health is, and this is what happens, and that's also for me. That's dangerous.
It's not, and it's not fair, because there was a conversation that women need to support men. I'm like, it's not fair to put that on women, dude. Like, it's not fair to put that on anyone, your friends, whatever. Like, you need to take accountability.
Yeah.
Because the whole reason why I wanted to go see a therapy at the beginning was like, I'm in a very like pressurized work environment.
Yeah.
And there were certain situations where I didn't like how I dealt with the pressure. And then I was like, how do I deal with this pressure a little bit better? Mm-hmm. And then that's what fascinated me about it. And then I went. And then there was obviously other things that I uncovered. Yeah, in that session.
Go find somebody. And with that,
wild.
Shoo. Yeah. Yeah.
You seem traumatized, bro.
No. I'm honestly considering like just having a sit down with the professional.
Nah, you should.
Also, because of COVID, I mean, being some of the stuff that we saw, some of the people, this rate at which I wasn't in the wards where the stuff was going on, but the rate at which wards were filling up and then emptying out beds. Like, you get there later on in the day. I'd hear stories of you get there later in the day, and there was like because they draw the curtains. And it's usually a sign that something is going on, and either there's a resus going on or that person is dead. They're just waiting to pull them out or whatever the case is. And apparently, you're lying there, you're struggling to breathe yourself, you're distressed as a patient. You're looking across there, and you see a bunch of people walk towards the bed. You don't know what's going on, and then at some point, you just see close, and you're just like, oh my gosh, they came in today. They walked in today, or they walked in yesterday, and that's them. And here I am battling with my breath. So now it's
a mind fuck. Yeah.
Super traumatic. So,
yes.
Anyway,
bro.
Land this plane, bro. Land this plane.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, man. Crazy podcast. But yeah, man, that was episode, what is it? Episode 8. Thanks for watching.
Peace.